Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says 7.5 lakh crore rupees to be spent in creating oil and gas infrastructure over 5 years. Prime Minister asserts government is working to free tech industry from unnecessary regulations. Union Cabinet approves production-linked incentive scheme for telecom sector. National COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 97.33%. Around 9 lakh people administered vaccine so far. And in Australian Open tennis, Rafael Nadal is out of the tournament after a stunning defeat at the hands of Stefanos Tsitsipas. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicated to the nation and laid the foundation of key projects of the oil and gas sector in Tamil Nadu today via video conferencing. The Prime Minister dedicated the Ramanathapuram Thoothukudi natural gas pipeline and gasoline desulfurization unit at Chennai Petroleum Corporation Limited, Manali. He also laid the foundation stone of Kaveri Basin Refinery at Nagapattinam. The Governor and Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas were present on the occasion. Touching upon the One Nation, One Gas Grid vision, the Prime Minister said the centre planned to spend 7.5 lakh crore rupees in creating oil and gas infrastructure over 5 years. A strong emphasis has been laid on the expansion of city gas distribution networks by covering 407 districts.
We are developing a gas pipeline network to achieve One Nation, One Grid. We have planned to spend 7.5 lakh crores in creating oil and gas infrastructure over 5 years. A strong emphasis had been laid.
Mr. Modi also pointed out the need to effectively create clean energy sources, which is the future of the country. He said dependence on import of oil and gas should reduce considerably in 2030. He assured that the government was working to reach the growing energy demand of the country. He said that projects were launched to meet out the demands of oil and gas. Prime Minister Modi said that India was set to become a leader in solar power. He also said that there was a need to increase ethanol production.
Furthering urges of solar power to become a leader in the sector, encouraging public transport to make people's lives productive and easy, embracing alternative sources like LED bulbs to enable huge savings for middle-class households. India has now come out with scrappage policy to help lakhs of people. More Indian cities have metro coverage than never before. Solar pumps are getting more popular. They are helping farmers greatly. This would not be possible without the support of the people.
The 143-kilometer of the Innor-Tiruvallur, Bengaluru, Puducherry, Nagapattinam, Madurai, Tuticorin natural gas pipeline has been laid at a cost of 700 crore rupees. The Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone of the Kaveri Basin Refinery at Nagapattinam. The Kaveri Basin Refinery project, estimated at a cost of 31,500 crore rupees, will be set up at Nagapattinam at a capacity of 9 million TPS. This joint venture between IOCL and CPCL will produce motor spirit and diesel with BS6 specifications and polypropylene as a value-added product. These projects result in socio-economic benefits and boost the country's Urja Atmanirbharta. He also inaugurated the gasoline desulfurization unit at CPCL Manali, which has been constructed at a cost of around 500 crore rupees. The unit will produce low-sulfur environment-friendly gasoline and help reduce emission, contributing towards a cleaner environment. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy thanked the Prime Minister for inaugurating the projects.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today stressed on the need to create world-class products that are made in India for the world. Addressing the NASSCOM Technology and Leadership Forum (NTLF) through video conferencing, Mr. Modi urged startups and innovators to think how to create world-class products that will set the global benchmark on excellence. Saying technology has empowered citizens and connected them with the government, Mr. Modi said democratized data and last-mile service delivery has also been effective. He said India is not short of ideas, it needs mentors that can mentor these ideas into reality.
कोरोना के दौरान भारत के ज्ञान विज्ञान हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी ने न सिर्फ खुद को साबित किया है बल्कि खुद को इवॉल्व भी किया है। एक समय था जब हम स्मॉल पॉक्स के टीके के लिए भी दूसरे देशों पर निर्भर थे। एक समय ये भी है जब हम दुनिया के अनेकों देशों को मेड इन इंडिया कोरोना वैक्सीन दे रहे हैं।
Mr. Modi said when the whole world was restricted to the four walls of their homes, the country's IT sector ran their projects with the same commitment and dedication. He said there was a time when India was dependent on other countries for smallpox vaccines, but today India is providing other countries made-in-India vaccines to fight against COVID. The Prime Minister said the government knows the barriers can never allow future leadership to develop. Mr. Modi added that the government is trying to remove needless regulations out of the technological industry.
तो विशाल डोमेस्टिक मार्केट है, उसका लाभ आईटी इंडस्ट्री को नहीं मिल पाया। इस वजह से भारत में डिजिटल डिवाइड बढ़ता गया। एक तरफ से हम कहते हैं और हम कह सकते हैं दिया तले अंधेरा वाली बात हमारे सामने थी। हमारी सरकार की नीतियां और निर्णय गवाह है कि कैसे बीते वर्षों में हमारी सरकार ने इस अप्रोच को बदल दिया है। साथियों, हमारी सरकार भी ये भली भांति जानती है कि बंधनों में भविष्य की लीडरशिप विकसित नहीं हो सकती और इसलिए सरकार द्वारा टेक इंडस्ट्री को अनावश्यक रेगुलेशन से बंधनों से बाहर निकालने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। नेशनल डिजिटल कम्युनिकेशन पॉलिसी एक ऐसा ही बड़ा प्रयास था।
Mr. Modi expressed happiness that country's heavily cash-dependent society is now transforming into a cashless economy. In a major move, Prime Minister said policies regarding mapping and geospatial data have been liberalized for the industry. He said this step will empower country's tech startup ecosystem and further boost the country's Atmanirbhar mission. The Prime Minister said the present government, with its new policies, is working towards minimum government and maximum governance.
गवर्नेंस में टेक्नोलॉजी के प्रभावी उपयोग से गरीब और मध्यम वर्ग को सुविधा के साथ साथ करप्शन से भी बड़ी राहत मिली है। हमारे फिनटेक प्रोडक्ट्स और यूपीआई जैसे डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म की चर्चा तो आज पूरी दुनिया में है। वर्ल्ड बैंक समेत इसके सामर्थ्य की चर्चा कर रहे हैं। कैसे 3-4 साल के भीतर भीतर एक हैवीली कैश डिपेंडेंट सोसाइटी उससे हम लेस कैश सोसाइटी की तरफ मक्कमता पूर्वक बढ़ चले हैं, ये हमारे सामने है। जितना डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन ज्यादा होता जा रहा है, काले धन के स्रोत उतने ही कम हो रहे हैं।
The Union Cabinet today approved production-linked incentive scheme for the telecom sector. Briefing reporters after the Cabinet meeting, Electronic and IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said the production-linked incentive worth 12,195 crore rupees has been cleared for the telecom sector. He said this will create 40,000 direct and indirect employment. Production-linked incentive scheme intends to promote manufacture of telecom and networking products in India and proposes a financial incentive to boost domestic manufacturing and attract investments in the target segments of telecom and networking products in order to encourage Make in India. The scheme will also encourage exports of telecom and networking products made in India. Support under the scheme will be provided to companies and entities engaged in manufacturing of specified telecom and networking products in India.
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को हम लोगों ने काफी प्रमोट किया है। आपको मालूम है कि मोबाइल फोन 14 में सिर्फ 2 था, अब 260 हो गया है। भारत दुनिया की सेकंड सबसे बड़ी मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का देश बन गया है। इसी क्रम में प्रोडक्शन लिंक इंसेंटिव का कार्यक्रम शुरू किया गया। प्रोडक्शन लिंक इंसेंटिव का मतलब क्या है? पहले उद्योग लगाओ, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग शुरू करो, एक्सपोर्ट करो, रोजगार क्रिएट करो और इंसेंटिव लो। दिस इज द सिंपल मीनिंग ऑफ प्रोडक्शन लिंक इंसेंटिव। तो इसको सबसे पहले मोबाइल और कंपोनेंट के क्षेत्र में किया गया।
The Cabinet has also approved amendments in the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2015. Women and Child Development Minister Priya Ramani said the amendments allow district magistrates along with assistant district magistrates to monitor the functions of the agencies implementing JJ Act in every district. The amendments include authorizing district magistrate, including additional district magistrate, to issue adoption orders under Section 61 of the JJ Act in order to ensure speedy disposal of cases and enhance accountability. The district magistrates have been further empowered under the Act to ensure its smooth implementation as well as garner synergized efforts in favor of children in distress conditions. Defining eligibility parameters for appointment of CWC members and categorizing previously undefined offences as serious offence are some of the other aspects of the proposal.
हर जिले में अब डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट, जिसमें एडिशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट भी सम्मिलित होंगे, उनको अब अधिकार दिया जाएगा कि जो एजेंसीज जेजे एक्ट के इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए जिम्मेदार हैं, उनकी फंक्शंस को मॉनिटर करे डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट। डिस्ट्रिक्ट का चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन यूनिट अब डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट के अंतर्गत फंक्शन करेंगे। आज तक चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी में किसी को भी सदस्य बनाने से पहले बैकग्राउंड चेक विशेषतः उसका कोई डायरेक्शन प्राप्त नहीं हुआ था। जो अमेंडमेंट प्रस्तावित है उसमें चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी में सदस्य बनाने से पहले व्यक्ति का बैकग्राउंड चेक, एजुकेशनल क्वालिटीज, इन सबको भी अब सम्मिलित किया गया है।
The Union Cabinet also cleared Comprehensive Economic Cooperation and Partnership Agreement or Free Trade Pact with Mauritius. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said it will strengthen the trade relation between India and Mauritius. The India-Mauritius CECPA will be the first trade agreement to be signed by India with a country in Africa. The CECPA between India and Mauritius covers 310 export items for India, including foodstuff and beverages, agricultural products, textile and textile articles, electricals and electronic items, plastics and chemicals.
अब जो व्यापारिक संबंध है वो प्रगाढ़ करने के लिए पहली दफा एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक कोऑपरेशन एंड पार्टनरशिप एग्रीमेंट ये मॉरिशस के साथ बना है। इसमें 310 आइटम्स भारत मॉरिशस में भेजेगा, दूसरा भी एक्सेस उसको मिलेगा और भारत में मॉरिशस से 615 वस्तुएं आएगी। तो इस तरह से दोनों का ट्रेड आज भी अच्छा है, वो और बढ़ेगा।
The Cabinet today approved enhanced delegation of financial powers under capital procurement to levels below Vice Chief of Armed Forces. The Defence Ministry said that as per the approval, under other capital procurement procedure of Defence Acquisition Procedure 2020, financial powers up to 100 crore rupees has been delegated to General Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Air Officer Commanding-in-Chief at Services Command and Regional Commanders and the Indian Coast Guard. Powers up to 200 crore rupees has been delegated to Deputy Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Material, Air Officer Maintenance, Deputy Chief Integrated Defence Staff and Additional Director General Indian Coast Guard. This delegation of powers within service headquarters and up to command level for items of capital nature such as overhauls, refits and upgrades will enhance the utility of existing assets and will facilitate faster processing and implementation of projects for modernization of armed forces to meet the security challenges of the nation. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says 7.5 lakh crore rupees to be spent in creating oil and gas infrastructure over 5 years. Prime Minister asserts government is working to free tech industry from unnecessary regulations. Union Cabinet approves production-linked incentive scheme for telecom sector. National COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 97.33%. Around 9 lakh people administered vaccine so far. And in Australian Open tennis, Rafael Nadal is out of the tournament after a stunning defeat at the hands of Stefanos Tsitsipas. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the evening news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the Mahabahu Brahmaputra, lay the foundation stone of Dhubri Phulbari Bridge and perform Bhumi Pujan for the construction of Majuli Bridge in Assam tomorrow through video conferencing. Union Ministers Nitin Gadkari and Mansukh Mandavia and Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal will be present on the occasion. More from our Guwahati correspondent.
The launch of Mahabahu Brahmaputra will be marked by the inauguration of the Pact vessel operations between Nibatihar, Majuli, North Guwahati and South Guwahati, as well as Dhubri and Hathsinwari, and of Inland Water Transport Terminal at Jogighapa. The program is aimed at providing seamless connectivity to the eastern parts of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of the longest river bridge of the country over the Brahmaputra. Apart from that, construction work of the much anticipated 8-kilometer long Jorhat-Majuli bridge will also begin in presence of the Prime Minister. Manas Pratim Sharma, AIR News, Guwahati.
Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah will be visiting West Bengal to flag off the fifth and last phase of BJP's Parivartan Yatra. He will be arriving in Kolkata tonight and visit Bharat Sevashram Sangh tomorrow morning before heading towards Gangasagar. More from our Kolkata correspondent.
Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah is scheduled to visit pole-bound West Bengal for the second time within a week. On his last visit on 11th of this month, Mr. Shah promised the Rajbongshi community of Coach Bihar and the Motua community of Bonga Thakurnagar to look into their interests if BJP comes into power and call for a change of government in the state. This time, he will be addressing a public meeting at Namkhana in South 24 Parganas during the party's fifth and final phase of Parivartan Yatra. He will pay a visit to the Kapil Muni Ashram at Gangasagar. The senior BJP leader is also scheduled to have lunch with a refugee family at Narayanpur village in Namkhana. Afterwards, Mr. Shah will also pay a visit to Sri Aurobindo Bhavan in South Kolkata. Madhuparna Dhar Chaudhuri for AIR News, Kolkata.
The next day, that is on Friday, Mr. Shah will be attending a program in Kolkata to pay his tribute to the martyrs of Bengal.
A Delhi court today acquitted journalist Priya Ramani in the criminal defamation case filed by former Union Minister M.J. Akbar. Additional Chief Metropolitan Magistrate Ravindra Kumar Pandey at Rose Avenue District Court said the court is of the view that Akbar's case is not true and acquitted Ramani. Priya Ramani had accused Akbar of sexual misconduct in the wake of the #MeToo movement in 2018, while Akbar had filed a complaint against her on October 15, 2018 for allegedly defaming him. The budget session of the Odisha Assembly will commence from tomorrow. While the session will begin with the Governor's address, the state budget will be presented on the 22nd of this month.
The session will have a total of 31 sittings in 2 phases with no meeting days in between from the 1st of March to the 11th of March. The daily sittings will be conducted in 2 phases, that is from the 10:30 a.m. in the morning till 1 p.m. and again from 4 in the afternoon till 6 p.m. Adequate security arrangements with the deployment of about 30 platoon police force have been made to ensure the smooth conduct of the session. The session will also be held with adherence to the COVID-19 preventive protocol. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News.
The COVID-19 recovery rate in the country has touched 97.33%. The Health Ministry said in the last 24 hours, 11,833 people were discharged. Till now, 1,6,44,858 people have recovered from the COVID-19 infection. In the last 24 hours, 11,610 new cases were reported. With this, total number of cases have reached 1,9,37,320. Meanwhile, the Union government has said that around 92 lakh beneficiaries have been administered the COVID-19 vaccine in the country so far. In a media briefing in New Delhi today, the Health and Family Welfare Ministry said a total of 91,86,757 beneficiaries have been inoculated with COVID-19 vaccine doses since the start of the vaccination drive in the country. It said a total of 1,87,527 beneficiaries have been inoculated with COVID-19 vaccine jab today. It added that a maximum number of doses have been administered today in Karnataka, followed by Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh. The ministry informed that a total of 65,21,785 healthcare workers have been inoculated with COVID-19 vaccine doses. It added that more than 61,79,000 healthcare workers have been administered the first dose, whereas more than 3,42,000 have been inoculated with second dose so far. The ministry further informed that a total of 26,64,972 frontline health workers have been administered the COVID-19 vaccine jab. India is hosting a workshop on COVID-19 management, experience, good practices and way forward tomorrow. Sources said 10 countries, India, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Mauritius, Nepal, Pakistan, Seychelles and Sri Lanka will participate. The Health Secretary of India will chair the event. Each country has been invited to participate in 1+1 format, Health Secretary and head of their technical team in charge of COVID management.
Maharashtra today reported 4,787 new COVID-19 cases, taking the tally to 20,76,096. According to the state's Public Health Department, 3,853 people were discharged post-recovery, taking the total number of recoveries to 19,85,261. The number of fatalities increased by 40, taking the death toll to 51,631. The state currently has 38,013 active patients. The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Rajesh Jaiswal, senior physician from Ranchi, will participate in the discussion. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. One can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR.
The group of 24 foreign heads of missions representing various geographical regions today met several delegations, DDC members and many officials in Srinagar and Budgam districts of Jammu and Kashmir. The delegation, which is on a 2-day visit to the Union Territory, is expected to gather the first-hand information about the situation and the development works undertaken by the administration after abrogation of the special status of the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir when the state was bifurcated into separate UTs of Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir.
Immediately after their arrival here, the envoys went to Magam area of Central Kashmir's Budgam district where they met newly appointed DDC members, Panchs and Sarpanchs at a local college premises. Newly elected chairperson of the District Development Council Budgam, Nazir Khan, briefed the delegation about the development process and administrative reforms that have taken place in the district in the recent past. The delegation also met several other groups and took their feedback about various issues. Later on in Srinagar, the delegation met Mayor of Srinagar Municipal Corporation, TDC chairperson from Baramulla district and various civil society groups and few media persons. Tomorrow the delegation would visit Jammu where they would be meeting Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha besides some of the DDC members and representatives of some social organizations. Ishfaq Shah, AIR News, Srinagar.
This will be the third visit of foreign envoys to J&K since the revocation of Article 370 in August 2019 and its bifurcation into 2 union territories. In the men's singles of Australian Open tennis, 5th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas has entered the semi-final, beating top-seeded Rafael Nadal in the quarter-final match this evening. Tsitsipas rallied from 2 sets down to stun 20-time Grand Slam champion and second seed Nadal 3-6, 2-6, 7-6, 6-4 and 7-5 at Rod Laver Arena. Earlier, fourth seed Daniil Medvedev won this all-Russian quarterfinal against 7th seed Andrei Rublev in straight sets 7-5, 6-3, 6-2. In the first semi-final match, Aslan Karatsev will take on Novak Djokovic tomorrow. In a massive quarter-final upset in women's singles, world number 1 Ashley Barty was knocked out of the tournament to 25th seed Karolina Markova of the Czech Republic. In other fixtures, Serena Williams will face off Naomi Osaka tomorrow for a spot in the final.
Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan today said India is one of the largest trading partners of Ethiopia, but there is still scope to expand and diversify trade between the two countries. Speaking at the India-Ethiopia Business Forum, the minister said despite the COVID-19 pandemic, Indian businessmen have continued to explore investment opportunities in Ethiopia. He said during the last 1 year, there were 35 new Indian investments in Ethiopia. He said the historical links between India and Ethiopia go back over 2,000 years of recorded history. He added that there is archaeological evidence that as early as the 1st century, Indian traders had trade links with eastern Ethiopia and traded silk and spices for gold and ivory. He further said that today, trade and investment ties are among the most notable of the many ties that bind the two nations. Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth's husband, has been admitted to a London hospital as a precautionary measure with an ailment that is not COVID-related. A royal source said the 99-year-old Duke from Edinburgh is expected to remain in hospital for a few days of observation and rest. Prince Philip had been feeling unwell for a short period. Queen Elizabeth and Prince have been staying at Windsor Castle, west of London, during coronavirus pandemic in Britain. The Bangladesh High Court today ordered the Bangladesh Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, BTRC, to remove the Al Jazeera documentary named All the Prime Minister's Men from the all online platforms in the country. The order was passed by a High Court Division bench of Justice Mohammad Mozibur Rahman Mia and Justice Mohammad Kamrul Hossain Molla after hearing a writ petition filed by a Supreme Court lawyer in this regard on February 8. The court had heard the opinion of 6 legal persons appointed as amicus curiae on the matter. Earlier, the BTRC had approached YouTube and Facebook to remove the Al Jazeera content from the platform, but YouTube and Facebook refused, saying that the content does not violate their community guideline. The documentary was telecast by Al Jazeera on 1st of February this year.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is likely to have moderate fog. The temperature will hover between 12 and 29 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be around 22 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be around 29 degrees. Chennai is likely to have fog or mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. The temperature will vary between 21 and 32 degrees Celsius. In Kolkata, there will be generally cloudy sky with light rain. The city will observe minimum temperature of 20 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 29 degrees. Srinagar, Jammu, Leh, Gilgit and Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky, while temperature will hover between -1 and 17 degrees Celsius in Srinagar. Jammu will have minimum temperature of 10 degrees Celsius and maximum 24 degrees. In Leh, minimum temperature will be -10 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 6 degrees. Gilgit will hover between -1 and 20 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have temperature between 8 and 25 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the minimum temperature will be around 9 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 26 degrees. The city will observe mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Chandigarh will have mainly clear sky later. The temperature is likely to hover between 12 and 29 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 16 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 32 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says 7.5 lakh crore rupees to be spent in creating oil and gas infrastructure over 5 years. Prime Minister asserts government is working to free tech industry from unnecessary regulations. Union Cabinet approves production-linked incentive scheme for telecom sector. National COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 97.33%. Around 9 lakh people administered vaccine so far. And in Australian Open tennis, Rafael Nadal is out of the tournament after a stunning defeat at the hands of Stefanos Tsitsipas. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.